And it's just basketball. At the end of the day, it's just basketball.
Like and subscribe on the way in the door, my people. I hope you all are having a truly fantastic day today. LeBron James fanboys. LeBron James fanboys. LeBron James fanboys. Welcome back, my people. So, Adam Silver and LeBron James had one job, and that was to maintain the mansion that was built from the greats who played in the previous eras, from the George Mikens to the Bill Russells to the Dr. J's to the Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, and ultimately Michael Jordan, who put all the bells and whistles on the mansion and made the NBA more profitable than it has ever been. That made the 90s the greatest decade of basketball that it has ever been. And Adam Silver and LeBron James simply had one job: maintain the mansion. Don't mess it up. And as we all know, this has been a complete failure. So, in another attempt to save the All-Star game, it has now been announced, people, that next year's All-Star game will be USA versus the world. And let me go ahead and tell everybody right now, it's not going to work. But before we get into it, let's check out this article from Sports Illustrated. It says, Adam Silver says 2026 NBA All-Star Game will feature USA versus World format. Says, the NBA All-Star Game will look different than it ever has in 2026. During an appearance on FS1's Breakfast Ball, NBA Commissioner Lord Voldemort on Wednesday announced that the 2026 All-Star Game will feature a USA versus World format. Quote, yes, Silver said when asked if the previously discussed idea will make an appearance in 2026. So next year, as a part of our new media deals, the All-Star Game returns to NBC, where it was when we were younger. And it so happens that next season will be smack in the middle of the Winter Olympics. The game will be on NBC, and the very day we're on, the lead-in will be Winter Olympic events, and then coming out of the All-Star Game, which is now going to be in the afternoon instead of the evening, there will be more Olympic events. So what better time to feature some form of USA against the world? The NBA in 2024-25 debuted a new All-Star Game format, which was trash. It says, in which 4 teams comprised of All-Stars drafted by TNT's Inside the NBA analysts competed in a mini tournament. The format featured 2 semi-final games and then one final between the victors of each semi-finals. The new format was not well received by players or fans. Plus, the NBA's All-Star Game was upstaged by the immense popularity of the NHL's Four Nations Face-Off, an Olympic-style hockey tournament featuring the best players from the United States, Canada, and Sweden and Finland. It was from the NHL's success with its own new All-Star Game, where the ideal of USA versus the world format for the NBA sprouted. Top players such as San Antonio star Victor Wembanyama and Milwaukee Bucks star Giannis Antetokounmpo expressed their approval of such a format. Others, like Golden State Warriors Draymond Green, admitted that the All-Star Game sometimes needs a facelift and noted that the NHL's Four Nations Face-Off would be worth monitoring. Quote, I'm not exactly sure what the format will be yet, Silver continued. I paid a lot of attention to what the NHL did, which was a huge success. Among the potential drawbacks of such a format is that roughly 70% of players in the NBA are American, leaving a much larger pool for a Team USA and a much smaller one for a Team World. Not to say we couldn't figure out a way around this, but to the extent we want to have a fair process by picking all-stars, if you're picking half the players from a 30% pool and the other half from a 70% pool, it might not be fair to the players. NBA Commissioner Adam Silver said in January during the NBA Paris Games. So that's one thing we're looking at. The 2026 NBA All-Star Weekend will take place in Los Angeles from February 13th to 15th. LeBron James and Adam Silver had one job, and that was to maintain the mansion that Jordan built. That Jordan, along with the great players from the previous eras, really all players from the previous eras, built. This new All-Star Game format is not going to work. This is the equivalent of having a car with a bad engine and a bad motor and putting a new paint job and some rims on it and expecting it to drive better. It's like, no, the transmission and motor are broken or the engine is broken. Putting a new paint job on it is not going to fix it. And this is what they keep trying to do in the modern NBA. The thing is this. The fact that so much time has to be spent trying to figure out how to fix things is a problem in itself. That means this era was a failure. That means that what was supposed to be done, and that is maintain the success, has not been done. And the problem with the NBA is the motor. It's the thing that makes the NBA go, which is the players. The players are the motor. And you cannot fix the players by slapping a new paint job on it. You can't fix the players by catering to their every will and catering to the entitlement that has become rampant in the NBA due to LeBron James being the face of the league. You're not going to fix it by simply trying to change the formats of things and adding, changing this and changing that. It's been so many changes in this modern NBA from, again, the in-season tournament, the play-in tournament. They tried a tournament style for last year's All-Star game, and now they're going to this USA versus World format. And I'm trying to figure out, how long is it going to take? How long is it going to take before they realize that you cannot change the format when the players still have to play it? No matter what the format is, the players have to go out there and play, and this is the problem. The players are the problem. Is we're living in the modern day age where these players don't want to compete. And again, this is why I keep going back to, you cannot tell me, there is no one who can tell me or try to convince me that these players are the same type of competitors as players from previous eras, because you do not have to try to coerce a competitor to compete. Again, I'm a musician. You don't have to coerce me to make music. I'm gonna do it whether I'm getting paid or not. That's what I've done most of my life, and will for the rest of my life. And it doesn't matter if I'm getting paid for it or not. I will do that. So again, when you're talking about players like Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, and really, you can name a plethora of players, but these are the players that come to mind when I just think about the most competitive. A person who is competitive, you do not have to coerce them or try to trick them or try to persuade them into competing. It's just what they do. Again, John Sally just recently told a story of Michael Jordan getting ready to leave practice, found out they were going to run scrimmages, and he was like, nah, you're not scrimmaging without me. And he came back and proceeded to play in jeans. And John Sally said he got dunked on by Michael Jordan in jeans. But this is a competitor. You don't have to try to persuade and beg a competitor to compete. Competitors just compete because they want to, because they are competitors. So let me go ahead and say this for the people who are apologists of the modern NBA era. These guys are not competitors like that. Comparatively. I'm not saying they're not competitors at all. But when you're trying to compare them to players of past eras, these guys are just not competitors. There's nothing you can say to justify it. And people try to justify it by saying, oh, well, this is just the era we live in. Well, you know, you can be in an era where they say 2 + 2 is 5, but that doesn't make it the truth. You don't have to convince competitors to compete. So, yeah, to me, this is just another... it's just another instance of showing how clueless Adam Silver is to what the real problem is. I mean, it's really mind-blowing. Like, it is delusion on the level of a LeBron James fanboy. Like, it is really mind-boggling to think that you can't figure out what the problem is, that you can't understand that, hey, I can change the format, I can do this, I've done these things. Like, we've made all these changes. We made the play-in tournament, we've made the in-season tournament, we tried a tournament last year. You know, we've done all these things, and yet it's still a problem. What is the common denominator? It is the players. You cannot make people who compete who are not competitors like that. So, you know, I don't know. I got a question. How many people are going to actually give it one more shot next year? How many people actually going to say, oh, okay, well, it's USA versus the world now. I'm going to check it out. I'm curious because, you know, part of me is curious because I would like to think that Giannis and Wembanyama and some of these other players would force competition. But again, to me, when you are in a place where the culture has been spoiled, then it spoils everybody else. And while I think Wembanyama and Giannis may compete harder than the other players, again, I'm not sure if that's going to be enough to actually make them compete. You know, again, because like Adam Silver was saying, you know, the U.S. makes up 70% of the NBA. That means 70% of the NBA is the spoiled, lazy, entitled LeBron James culture. But anyway, we gonna hold up here. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. What do you think of yet another change, people? Another attempt to make them compete in the All-Star game. Oh, and let's not forget that I think it was the year before last, they actually had Larry Bird come into the locker room and try to give a pep talk to make them compete. And they pretty much was a slap in the face to Larry because they might as well have said, F you, we don't care what you have to say. Because that was the year they put up over 400 points. But anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments. You all have a truly fantastic day, and I'll see you next time. All right.